Genlock, huh? That was a show that I finished. I watched all of it. And let me tell. Okay, a little bit of backstory. I started watching Genlock as it was coming out, right after Volume 6 of RWBY finished up. I watched it in its entirety. Me and my roommates really clicked with that show, and that was something we all bonded over and watched religiously, if you will, for the 8 episodes that it ran. And I made my first review the day before episode 6 of 8 came out. So that means there are 3 episodes that I've yet to review and talk about. I didn't talk about them immediately afterwards because I just forgot. Genuinely, I just kind of forgot. Like, Mortal Kombat 11 was coming out. There was all these college stuff. I was doing things. Life happens. But now I am in a position, I finished my finals, I'm good. I'm in a position to where I can now finally finish and conclude my review of Genlock episodes 6, 7, and 8. And basically my entire wrap-up of the first season. Now, I rewatched my review of episodes 1 through 5, and I kind of looked back on some things that I was looking forward to in the show, kind of just refamiliarizing myself with the show and all of its juicy little tidbits and whatnot. So I'm kind of refreshed. I'm back in the Genlock mood. I'm ready to talk about it. So I finished up episode 5, and I recorded my review of 1 through 5. And I was like, okay, Genlock's pretty interesting. And then the next day, I watched episode 6. And episode 6 of Genlock, holy shit! It was such a turn. I was floored by episode 6 of Genlock. So I'm gonna kind of make this kind of brief. I'm gonna run through the episode, recaps, kind of give my little 2 cents on things, and like I normally do. But I'm not trying to sit here for 50 minutes this time. So that's all the same to you. Thanks. So episode 6 of Genlock begins with the knowledge that Chase is Nemesis. Nemesis, the giant 4-armed Holon that they've been fighting throughout the series. It turns out that the person controlling Nemesis is the original Julian Chase. We learned that when Chase was first recovered from the crash and his body was uploaded into the Holon, it was actually taken by the Union and kind of manipulated, brainwashed, lied to, and turned into what is now Nemesis. So they essentially had his mind. However, Dr. Weller and, the Vanguard, they still had Chase's body, his actual body, and a backup of his mind. Every time they would upload him into the Holon, they would kind of keep a backup of his mind and his memory and his brain, just in case, almost like how you do with files on a computer. You have backup files just in case. So, after some moral dilemmas and questioning, they decided to put the backup mind of Chase back into his actual body, which would mean that technically the Chase we now know and we've been watching throughout the show isn't the original Chase. He's essentially just a copy, which is what Nemesis has been talking about when he's on some kill the copy stuff, you know what I'm saying? Pretty crazy stuff to start off an episode with. What a shocking revelation, if you will. Now, and then it gets even crazier than that. So, after this revelation that he is not the original him, Chase and he confronted Dr. Weller about this. They are then greeted at the anvil by pretty much the Union launching a full-scale attack. They look and fucking Nemesis is mucking on up with all the boys. The Unions are in the back, little spider droids. That little flying ship thing is coming onto the anvil. Everybody's in panic mode. They're like, oh no, it's the Union. And Nemesis is like, hey, Vanguard, Nemesis here. I want Chase. Where's he at? Where's the copy? I want to kill him. All that stuff. That's exactly what he sounds like. It's crazy that I'm able to mimic it so perfectly. So Chase is like, alright, I'm about to go mess up Nemesis. I'm going to go head first and attack him. He does that. Meanwhile, Dr. Weller's like, yo, Team Genlock, Cammy, Kazoo, Yaz, Val, and Tina, go, go forth and stop this Union attack, because shit's about to hit the fan, obviously. So, it's a really cool, little fight sequence, the Union versus Team Genlock and, the rest of the Vanguard. They're fighting it up, they're doing their thing. And then the Union gets into the Anvil, they get into the base, and they start going for Dr. Weller. The Colonel sees this, and she's like, yo, Dr. Weller, they're coming for you, you may want to skedaddle. And Dr. Weller's like, alright, bet, starts packing up the lab, he's like, let's go. He, calls Team Genlock, he's like, y'all gotta desync, you gotta get back to your bodies, because if they kill your bodies, you're kind of fucked. So, they start heading back, they're like, Chase, come on, you gotta get back to your body too, in the middle of this attack. And Chase is like, nah, my body is pretty much shit, it's not gonna matter, you guys go. And, he's fighting Nemesis still. And so the Team Genlock is like, alright, bump them, let's go, let's bounce. And they go. And they get back in their bodies. The Weller's like, come on, you gotta get out of here, take the Holons. We're flying away. We are not, you guys are. I'm gonna stay here and hold down the fort. Take Caliban with you and get on out of here. And he's like, he starts talking to him. He's like, hey guys, if I see you again, I see you again. He's like, Dr. Weller? I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, is Dr. Weller gonna die? Nah, they wouldn't do that. They got David Tennant for this dude. He's fine. So the Union breaks into the lab, but everyone's gone. It's just Weller. He's like, hey, what's up, Union? It's Weller here. And they hit him over the head, but Weller's like, you're not gonna take my kids. You're not gonna take my research. And he pulls out a bomb and he presses it, and it just kills himself and the Union, blows up the lab, all the Genlock research, gonzo, dead, done. Dr. Weller is dead. And that's crazy. That's that's kind of crazy. That kind of floored me, if you will. I was kind of shocked by that. That took me by surprise. We were watching this, we were like, whoa, that's a pretty ballsy move, Gray Haddock. That's kind of crazy that you do such a thing. Huh. But they did it. And then Yaz and Kazoo, Cammy and Valentina and Caliban, they're kind of escaping the little anvil, and they see a little birthday, they hide from the Union in a little room, and it turns out that's where Leon, Jody, and Miranda were going to throw them a surprise party and give them their official call signs and welcome them to the team, but obviously with this attack happening, it never came to fruition. It's just a little reminder of what could have been. It kind of makes them depressed, and they're like, we'll thank them later. And so they run out, they get Migas, Migas, drive to the ship, let's bounce, we gotta roll. So he does, and, meanwhile, that little giant floating ship is getting closer and closer to the anvil, up in that little, area, where people are going in and out, the entrance, if you will, as some people call it. So Migas and them, he drives them to the little ship, he lets them get on board, Team Genlock flies away, and Migas is like, yeah, go get him. And the anvil turns into an actual cannon and shoots down that giant floating ship. It crashes in the entrance. The rest of the Union's kind of dispersing. Dr. Weller may be dead, but everyone else is like, yeah, we did it. We saved the day. Woo! And then that giant ship opens and in floods the nanobots. And boy, it was kind of depressing seeing Miranda, Jody, Leon, Migas, the Colonel just get swallowed up by those nanos, man. It was kind of rough. And Chase was like, hey guys, do you read me? But no response. The entire base is just enveloped in these nanotech bots, and they're all presumably dead. Crazy. The only survivors being the Genlock team, Caliban, and their Holons. And then episode 6 just fucking ends. I was like, holy, that was kind of a lot to drop on us, Genlock. This is crazy. Okay, so episode 6 really took the cake for a lot of people, mostly just because of how shocking it was. It flipped everything on its head relatively early, kind of broke the mold, gave us deaths, showed us that there are implications for what happens, gave us backstory on Chase. It was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. I think it's probably one of my favorite episodes to date, if you will, and I will. So, moving on to episode 7. Episode 7 was kind of a cool down episode. Team Genlock's on the run from the Union now, because since Chase is kind of permanently always in his Holon, Nemesis can use that to track them wherever they go. So Chase has to, download out of it, and like get out of his Holon, just stay in his little container, his little Bacta tank, if you will, and I will. And so they're kind of like on the run, and then they say, like, they're talking in front of Caliban, and they're like, Dr. Weller's dead, and Caliban's like, what? Word? And he starts talking, he's like, enter your little access code, Chase, and he's like, let the good times roll, and then it's like, voice accepted, and then Caliban kind of shows a little force projection of Dr. Weller, and Dr. Weller's like, yeah, Caliban was kind of like the first Holon, I put my copy of my mind into him, put all my research, all my ideas, everything about Genlock is in Caliban, everything about me is in Caliban. We in here, I prepared for this, and Dr. Weller gives this rousing speech of heroism. He's like, guys, I kind of vibed with you guys for while I was alive. We haven't known each other that long, but like, I kind of sense a connection. I kind of sense that you guys are the ones to do this. Destiny chose you for this, all yada yada boom boom. Go up there, give the old college try, and go get them, kids. Go get them, boys. So then Caliban, who's voiced by David Tennant as well, gives them the directions to the little science unit that he was going to take them to after he was done testing Genlock at the Anvil. They get there, it's like this nice little medical research lab center thing in the middle of the desert, and when they land, they are greeted by Henry, the doctor they rescued, who's voiced by ProZD, that funny guy on YouTube. He's there, he's like, oh, I know these guys, they rescued me, come on in, fellas, and, he brings them in, they tell him, like, hey, the Anvil was just completely obliterated, they kind of got wrecked, not gonna lie, shit's not looking too good over there, and so he introduces them to Dr. Fatima Jah, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but she is the ex-wife of Dr. Weller, and upon hearing news of his death, she is, distraught, but she understands, she helped him with Genlock, she knows, she's in the know, she's hip, she's down, so they kind of talk to her, and she's like, well, you guys are more than welcome to stay here, we'll fix up your Holons a bit, but there's also someone you guys need to meet. Enter Mark Holcroft, who is the financial backer of, this little science lab research center in the middle of the desert and all that stuff. He's kind of a little businessman, a little sleek suit wearing businessman. I think he's actually voiced by like the CEO of Rooster Teeth or something like that. So it's pretty fitting, I'd say. So Mark Holcroft kind of talks to Team Genlock. He's like, all right, guys, here's what I'm gonna do. Since technically you guys are my investments, since you're part of the Genlock program and I've invested in Genlock. Since here's what I want you to do. All right, you're gonna start reporting to me from now on. He's kind of edgy. He's kind of a dick almost a bit, but like it doesn't come off to the point where I think he's evil. I just think he's just like kind of snobby, if you will, maybe for lack of better words. But he's like, so here's what I want you to do. We're gonna upgrade your mechs. We're gonna make them cool and suitable for battle, and then we want you to go and get Nemesis. Bring him back here, either in pieces or in one. Just do what you gotta do. I don't care what you do, just do it. And make sure Nemesis is no longer out there in the Union hands. That's all I care about. Make it happen, Captain. So, Cammy is like, okay, gang, I got some new designs for the mechs that are personalized, make them cooler. I think you guys will like them. And she redesigns the Holons, gives them their cool little upgrades. Kazu's got this cool, Shogun, red samurai armor now. Valentina's is more, tall and thin and sleek. It's got the invisibility cloak and the dreads. Yaz's kind of looks more like a phoenix, and it's got that cool little bird Arabian vibe. Cammy's is now shorter, got the bunny legs and all that kind of stuff, the bunny aesthetic. And Chase's has wings now. And Chase also redesigned himself. He got a new outfit, nice little black and blue version of his old one. It's cool. I dig it very much so. And they do all this stuff, and they're like, all right, gang, let's take the fight to the Union. Let's go get Nemesis, shall we? And they do that. So episode 7 was like a cool down episode, if you will, kind of letting everybody take a breather from the traumatic experience that was episode 6. And so that all in mind, we now go to the meat and potatoes, the finale, episode 8 of Genlock, which It was cool. They, with their newly upgraded mechs, they find Nemesis in kind of this little, like, shipyard, I can only imagine. And you gotta bear with me a bit here. I'm kind of giving you a bare bones rundown because it is currently, like, May, and the finale came out in, like, March, maybe, so I'm kind of really reaching back into my memory vault here to get this information, so kind of bear with me here. So they're kind of in a shipyard, they all gang up on Nemesis, they start beating this man into the ground, and then Nemesis kind of gets the upper hand, but the fight's taking too long, and, they, see Chase inside their little, mindscape that they go into sometimes, and he's all black and red. He looks like he does in the intro that one time, and he's all glitchy. He's like, "Hey, blah blah blah, blah. It's me, Evil Chase, Nemesis." Ooh. And the fight's taking too long. Cammy, Kazoo, Valentina, and Yaz have to get out of their holons, and they got to go back to their bodies because it's taking too long, and they don't want to risk overdoing their uptime. So they hide and they re-download. They leave Chase to have to fight all by himself, and it's then where Evil Chase, where Nemesis is like, "Oh, these guys really mean a lot to you, huh, Chase?" So he pins Chase down, and he starts going after their human bodies, and, they're like, "Oh, shit, our human bodies, we're gonna be killed by Nemesis!" But before Nemesis can get to them, another Holon shows up. It's the one that was supposed to go to Sinclair. And it shows up, it starts beating up Nemesis. Along with it is Miranda and Jody and their little mechs, and they're shooting, and they survived. And it becomes a realization that the one in Sinclair's Holon is Leon, because it was mentioned that he was Genlock compatible, but he was too old, but he still got in that Holon. Good for Leon. He did the dang thing. So they fighting, and Nemesis takes off the Holon's arm of Leon. He goes down, and they're fighting some more. They get back up into their suits, and they beat this man Nemesis into the ground. And with the power of friendship and teamwork, they manage to just kill Nemesis. They break his little core, and he's dead now. The original mind of Chase is gone. I mean, it's kind of hinted at that there are more, but, they did it. They did the dang thing. They meet back up with the Colonel and with Migas. It's revealed that they're alive. All of them survived thanks to Dr. Weller's tech that he was studying, how to block out nanotech. Good stuff. Great stuff from him. Leon is in a coma. He's in a fucking coma because that dumbass, he was too old. He wasn't supposed to be in a Holon. What is he doing? But he did it anyway. And now he's in a coma. This guy. So he's pretty much brain dead at this point. But good stuff. The Colonel's like, "Hey, Genlock team, now that the Anvil is back up and running, we'd love to have you back." But Chase and them decide that, hey, it's probably best that we stay with, the lab research facility. We'll still help you out, of course, but I think it's best that our main base of operations is still this kind of covert little area that no one knows about, as to better not, put you guys at risk and make you guys so much of a target. And they're like, "All right, bet." So now with the whole hubbubaloo kind of finished up, they kind of go their separate ways. They kind of all right, we're kind of getting the hang of this. We're getting our feet wet. Let's see if we can really make a difference. And then credits roll. Chase and Miranda have their little love thing. They're like, maybe we can try out some stuff. It's crazy how things are working out, but I think that if we really try, we can maybe make this work. Maybe we can start being friends and work our way up in this relationship. But it's good, small steps, baby steps. And it's good. And the credits roll, and then post-credit scene, we see some Union boys walking. There's we're Union boys. Yes, sir. We love the Union. Yes, sir. And then one of them kind of falls back, and he kind of runs, and he takes off his helmet. And it's this dude Sinclair, the original Sinclair, the one who was supposed to be there, but got replaced with a spy. He's not dead. He's actually just kind of behind enemy lines. He looks scared out of his mind. He's got a black eye. He's cut and bruised. And Sinclair's just like, fuck, what have I got myself into? God damn it. And then he has to put his helmet back on. He has to run and catch up with them. And that's the episode. Now, Season 1 of Genlock, I think, was good. Definitely. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. it is its first season. I think because of that, it still has room to grow and has room to like improve and it has room to kind of expand upon what it's building. The biggest thing I think right now with Genlock that I want to see kind of fixed in a way is the Union. We know little to nothing about them, about their goals, what they're planning, what's up with their, what are they trying to do, what drives them, who are some forefronters in Union, who are their people, what do they believe in, all this kind of just stuff that makes me care about who they're fighting, what they're fighting for, and that's kind of things important. We only got one side. We've only seen stuff from the Vanguard's point of view, and of course there are protagonists, and that's important, but it's like we also need to know who they're fighting and why they're fighting, and why should I want the good guys to win? Because for all I know, they could reveal the Union's intentions, and I could be like, yeah, maybe the Union's right, and maybe our heroes are the bad guys, stuff like that. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that I would like to see expanded on and improved in Season 2 of Genlock, if that's even happening. I'm pretty sure it will be, but, cool stuff, I'd say out of all of Season 1, I'd say the characters I really enjoyed the most were Kazoo. He's just kind of funny. I really like that they're keeping him speaking Japanese mainly. I think it's nice. It's a nice little touch. I honestly don't know, I can't predict anything. I don't have nothing to really go off of that isn't just kind of drummed up in my mind or pulled from thin air. I have nothing really concrete that I can definitively say or confidently predict will happen with this show, and that's because it's still relatively new, and that's fine. I'm looking forward, though, to seeing where they go next. One thing I can say with 100% certainty, though, is that this show, it's good. A lot of work went into it, and it shows, and I'm glad to see it coming to fruition. I look forward to seeing where they go next, and I think I'm going to have to call it there. I mean, all in all, good stuff. Good stuff for Season 1. Definitely has got me. It's intrigued me. I'm here for the long con. Let's see where we go from here. Great work to everybody who worked on the show. Everyone. Yeah, even you. Yeah. Good job. Looking forward to Season 2.